Tanse, and hello everyone. I'm Michelle LeClair, candidate re-elect for Vice President for the MNS. I want to thank everyone who submitted questions. I always appreciate the chance to hear directly from you and to address your concerns openly. So let's get started. Question number 1. Anonymous asks, there was a comment made during the forum regarding the role of the Vice President, suggesting that the VP should always publicly support the President. What do you believe the role of the Vice President should be? I want to thank you for that question. Very important question. For me, the role of the Vice President is to be a strong voice for our citizens, not just a supporting voice for the President. The Vice President must serve as a check and balance on power, hold leadership accountable, and ensure that the will of our citizens in the MNLA is heard and respected. It's not about unwavering support. It's about standing up for our people, advocating for transparency, and making sure that all voices are heard at every level of governance. I believe that the Vice President should also be a resource and support to the PMC and MNLA, especially when dealing with federal and provincial negotiations. Question number 2. Xavier asks, regarding the mental health and addictions crisis our citizens are facing, what is your approach to aid these important matters if re-elected? First of all, thank you, Xavier, for that. The mental health and addictions crisis is deeply concerning. And it's something that we need to tackle on multiple fronts. If re-elected, I will lobby both the federal and provincial government for increased funding, specifically targeted towards culturally appropriate mental health and addiction services. It's so important. Additionally, we need to build relationships with community organizations to ensure that the Métis voice is present at every table, and that resources are directed where they needed. Finally, I want to increase capacity for locals so that they can provide culturally specific supports to our own communities. Because who knows our communities better than our people? Question number 3. Anonymous asks, there seems to be a lack of trust among citizens regarding the power and authority of the executive staff and leadership. How would you address these concerns if re-elected? Thank you for raising this concern, and we've heard it across the province. And I know that the lack of trust in leadership is a serious issue. We need to do the hard, tedious work of clearly defining roles, responsibilities, and authorities at every level of our government. MNS has grown so much, so fast, and we need to establish clear processes for how decisions are made, who makes them, how those decisions are communicated, and how we and you as citizens hold your leaders accountable. Increased transparency requires clear policies and processes. And if re-elected, that is the work that I'm committed to doing. Okay, question number 4. Anonymous asks, citizens have raised concern about long delays in medical reimbursement and being told they may lose access to medical travel benefits. How would you address these concerns if re-elected? And this is a serious issue, because people are at their most vulnerable when they're dealing with medical issues. So I thank you for bringing this forward. And I know firsthand how stressful dealing with health issues can be, and how important that our citizens feel supported and treated and respected. During my term, I initiated a review of the MTAP program to address ongoing concerns about delays in reimbursement and the overall citizen experience. And it needs some work. If re-elected, it will be a top priority to ensure that those concerns are addressed and that our citizens receive the services that they are entitled to with dignity, care, and respect. So that brings us to the end of our questions. I want to thank you again to everyone who took the time to submit their questions. If you have more to ask, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to serve you, and your voices are what matters most. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you and have a good day. We'll talk soon.